Hey guys, welcome back to Next Level Coding, and in this video we're going to take a look at how we can initialize and the proper syntax of Python sets within the Python programming language. Now, if you guys find this video helpful, I would really appreciate it if you could drop a like. But jumping right into this tutorial, there are actually two ways we can declare Python sets. The first way we can declare a set is by simply using the set typecasting function and assigning it to a variable. So what that might look like is if I go ahead and declare a variable here called Python set and then simply use the set function, I actually have now assigned and created a set. And if I were to go ahead and print out the type of this variable right here, we will actually be able to confirm that indeed Python recognizes this as a set within the language itself. Now, the other way we can create a set within Python is actually very similar to using a dictionary, and that's because underneath the hood, dictionaries and sets are actually very similar for reasons we'll get into in just a moment. But suffice it to say, to create a Python set in the alternative way, we could actually use the closed and open set of curly braces, similar to how we use a dictionary, but instead of doing the key value pair type of syntax, we can simply just add elements to it like a list. So for example, if I just place the elements 1, 2, 3 within this set right here, and I were to go ahead and print out its contents, you'll notice that yes, indeed, the set itself is placed right here. And if I were to go ahead and one more time check to make sure that indeed it is a set, Python says that yes, this class that we have assigned to this variable is a set, which was our desire to begin with. Now, what are the benefits to using sets within Python? While this might be a bit more advanced for this video, essentially what sets allow us to do very well and very quickly within the programming language is we can check for the existence of elements in constant time. Now, just to illustrate why Python sets are designed to keep track of the sort of uniqueness of elements is let's go ahead and actually print out the contents of this Python set, except this time I'm going to go ahead and add a couple of duplicate items right here. You'll notice that I have several 2s within this set. I have several 3s, and just to sort of illustrate the point even further, I'll go ahead and add a couple of more 1s. Now, if we go ahead and run our file, indeed it is still a Python set, but if I were to go ahead and print out the contents of our set, you'll notice that actually the extra 1, 2s, and 3s are dropped. Now, this is actually very useful, again, if you're trying to keep track of something that is very unique, as well as being able to access any element, or rather check for the existence of any element of a set within a constant time. Now, while the structure itself might look similar to a list, there are actually a couple of things we have to keep in mind. Chiefly, we have to make sure that we use the appropriate method if we would like to add elements to this set. Now, if you're familiar at all with Python, you'll know that the .append method is what we generally use to add or append elements to the end of a list. But in the case of a Python set, we actually can't use the .append method in the same way we would use it for a list. For example, if I wanted to add another 3 to this Python set and I were to try and run my program, you'll notice I get an error and Python is letting me know that a set object has no attribute append. Rather, if I wanted to add an additional element to the set, well, I have to use exactly that method, the method called add. So just to illustrate this, I'll go ahead and add the element 4, or rather the number 4, to my Python set. And if I were to go ahead and run my program, you'll notice that indeed we do not get any errors. And if I were to print out the contents of my Python set, you'll notice that indeed 4 is captured within this set of numerical elements. Now, a really great example of how we can use a set in practice is honestly one that I found on LeetCode. LeetCode is a great repository of brain teaser-like programming questions where you can apply your knowledge of different data structures and algorithms. But essentially, this problem here asks us to solve if a string of letters is a pangram. And here they define a pangram as a sentence where every letter of the English alphabet appears at least once. And so the stereotypical pangram that often people say is the quick brown fox jumps over the lazy dog. This sentence actually contains every letter in the English language, but we can actually use a set to very easily solve this problem. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just simply going to create a variable here called string set, and all I'm going to do is I'm going to convert this sentence variable that is given, which is the one we have to tell whether or not it's a pangram, and just simply place it within our set argument. And now, if you guys recall from the earlier part of this video, all duplicates will actually be dropped from this string, and as a result, we're just simply going to have all letters that reside anywhere within the sentence be placed as an element within our set. And since there are 26 letters in the English alphabet, if there are 26 elements, or rather if there are 26 letters within our set, we know that indeed it is a pangram. Otherwise, if it is not, we would just simply go ahead and return false because at least one or more letters are missing. And so if we go ahead and submit this problem, you'll actually notice that indeed this is going to be a correct answer. So while sets are very simple to use, they can actually be pretty powerful depending upon the use case that you want to apply them to. If you guys found this video helpful, I would really appreciate it if you dropped a like. Consider subscribing too for more tutorial like videos like this one, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. See you there.